Today, I want to talk about the best wide receivers, running backs, and tight end available in the NFL draft. And all that's coming up after the bumper.
Don't be cornering me. Hold up. Time. You gotta help me with that corner shit.
What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on Step Mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always college football related, sports related. We have time. Today, I want to talk about the best skill players I believe that are available in the NFL draft. And at foxsports.com, I put together basically an all NFL draft team where I took a quarterback, I took a couple of running backs, I took 3 wide receivers, and I took a tight end, and then 5 offensive linemen. You can check out the quarterback video. You can check out the offensive line video. Today, we're going to cover the rest of the skill players. Now, I got Najee Harris at tailback. I got Travis Etienne at tailback. I got Jamar Chase at wide receiver, Jaylen Waddle and DeVonta Smith rounding out that group, and Kyle Pitts at tight end. I don't know that there's a lot of controversy there. I think that's pretty unassailable, just like I think about my offensive line. Najee Harris, best tailback in football last year. A really great example of a player that could have gone into the draft early last year and been 3rd or 4th round pick. Goes into the draft this year. You're talking about him being that Clyde Edwards-Helaire tailback taken in the 1st round because of what he's been able to do both as a runner and as a pass catcher out of the backfield. The man broke Derrick Henry's record for touchdowns in a season and was pretty amazing with the ball in his hands no matter how you drew it up. Matter of fact, the one that I think most people would find controversial might be Travis Etienne, depending on how you feel about Javonte Williams or Michael Carter. But I believe that over the last 4 years, really, Travis Etienne has demonstrated that he is one of the better tailbacks in football. As a matter of fact, going into the 2020 season, we probably would have had Travis Etienne at 1, and Najee Harris might not have even been listed on this all-NFL draft team, right? That's how much work Harris did, but also how much Etienne fell behind. We learned what he's limited in doing, right? While he worked so terribly hard to make himself a catcher of the ball out of the backfield, that we're comparing him to guys like, well, Alvin Kamara, because of what he's turned himself from stone hands into sure hands. But this was a guy that was averaging 7 yards per clip for an entire season. I mean, the ACC rushing record is his. I believe that he's a better football player, right, than Trevor Lawrence. Now, that can get controversial depending on how you want to draw it up. But like, the knock against Travis Etienne would be the Boston College game. But in the Boston College game, the knock against him would be Notre Dame because they couldn't run the damn ball to save their lives. And he caught for like over 100 yards in the Boston College game because I was going to say that Boston College held him to a low number in running. But running the football is so much about the offensive line as well. In one-on-one situations, missed tackle situations, you know what you're getting from Travis Etienne. You know nobody is going to run him down. You can fight me on it, but I still like Travis Etienne. And I look at that dude, and I think he's Ronald Jones if Ronald Jones could catch, right? There are some folks that are going to lean hard on that Alvin Kamara. I just don't see Travis Etienne catching 80 balls a year. I just don't see it. Like, Alvin Kamara is over there by himself with, like, Christian McCaffrey. And then at wide receiver, you're talking about Jamar Chase, Jaylen Waddle, DeVonta Smith. Jamar Chase, of course, opted out of the 2020 season, but was the 2019 Biletnikoff Award winner and put such good stuff on tape, particularly against A.J. Terrell, who he just destroyed in the national championship game. And A.J. Terrell was a 1st-round draft pick, a corner. You're gonna take a flyer on Jamar Chase. I don't even know that it's a flyer. You just haven't seen him play. Unless he's put on the Mike Williams 50, everything's fine. I got Waddle ahead of DeVonta Smith because Waddle was the better player before he got hurt, and DeVonta Smith picked up the slack and ends up with 46 all-time reception TDs. Like, number 2 on that list is Ryan Broyles at 45. Number 3 on that list is Rashawn Woods, Oklahoma State, I think at 42. DeVonta Smith is a monster, right? He's agile, he's quick, but he's also skinny. Explosively, we're talking about Jaylen Waddle, though, because Jaylen Waddle deals almost exclusively in explosive plays. So 17 career receiving touchdowns for Jaylen Waddle. 8 of those were for plays of 50 or more yards, and 14 were plays of 20 or more yards. So the man almost exclusively just destroying people with explosions. That's it. He's walking C4 on a football field. And he really is great at yards per catch per route run. Like, this dude had a better average than Jerry Jeudy did in the year Jerry Jeudy won the Biletnikoff Award 2018, a year that I thought Hollywood Brown probably should have won it. But somebody's going to end up drafting Jaylen Waddle. He might even fall behind both Jamar Chase and DeVonta Smith. And even Kyle Pitts, tight end that I got here, because I think the way that people are looking at Justin Jefferson last year going in the draft is how people are going to look at Waddle, and I think he's going to have a similar year. I'm a big Waddle fan. I got Kyle Pitts here because I think he's head and shoulders the best tight end available in the draft. He's basically a wide receiver, right? I even offered up to Klatt, why not have Kyle Pitts go into the draft as a wide receiver? He'll make more money. Like, when you talk about pay scale, they pay you more to be a wide receiver than they do to be a tight end. But he's going in as a tight end. And it's also really interesting to take a look at Pitts because we weren't really talking about him all that often going into the 2020 season. That's a guy that really took advantage of Kyle Trask coming into his own. And I don't know that Florida would have been any good or as good without him. I mean, Kadarius Toney did a bunch for them, but Pitts was the matchup nightmare. So much so that you would put the safety over the top of the tight end and probably leave Kadarius Toney, who's that Tyreek Hill type, like Rondale Moore, kind of just out there by himself to hurt you. Rondale Moore's also another dude that I struggle with and whether or not I should put him here because he's like Waddle, an all-purpose nightmare, right? He just hasn't been playing, right? Like, he opts out late and he played at Purdue. I think that the way that people are talking about Toney is the way they should be talking about Moore, because what Moore did to Ohio State in 2018, I will never forget, and neither will Ohio State fans. Just went after him, right? In a game where I think Dwayne Haskins had over 400 yards passing in that game, which is remarkable when you think about it, man. Like, my God. So to recap, quarterback I got Justin Fields, tailbacks Najee Harris, Travis Etienne, tight end Kyle Pitts, wide receivers Jaylen Waddle, DeVonta Smith, Jamar Chase, and then offensive lineman center I got Landon Dickerson. Guards on either side of him I got Rashawn Slater and Wyatt Davis. Tackles on either side of them I got Penei Sewell and Sam Cosmi. Talk about the defense here a little bit. Deuces.